Have you ever woken up feeling tired, rushed, and already behind on your day? You hit snooze, scroll through your phone, skip breakfast, and before you know it, it's 9 a.m. and you're already stressed. What if I told you there's a 10-minute routine that could completely change that? A simple method to sharpen your mind, fuel your body, and set you up to conquer your entire day before 9 a.m.? In this video, we're diving into what I call the 5-5-9 morning routine. It's quick, it's powerful, and it's designed for busy people who don't have hours to spend on long morning rituals. By the end of this routine, you'll feel unstoppable. And most importantly, you'll have already won your morning before the world even wakes up. Imagine this. The alarm clock rings, and before your eyes are fully open, your hand reaches for your phone. Within seconds, you're scrolling through notifications, checking emails, seeing messages, maybe even glancing at the news. And just like that, you've handed your mind over to chaos before you've even gotten out of bed? Does that sound familiar? For many people, this is their daily routine. They wake up and immediately feed their brain with stress, comparison, or distractions. And then they wonder why their day feels heavy, unfocused, or unproductive. But here's the truth: your mornings are the most powerful moments of your day, because they set the tone for everything that follows. That's why the very first step in the 5-5-9 morning routine is simple but life-changing. It's called 5 minutes for your mind. Now you might be thinking, 5 minutes? What difference can 5 minutes really make? The answer is everything. Because the mind is like the operating system of your life. If you don't program it intentionally at the start of the day, the world will program it for you. Think about it. If the first thoughts you have when you wake up are rushed, anxious, and negative, then what do you think the rest of your day will feel like? But if your first thoughts are calm, focused, and intentional, you've already taken control before the world even has a chance to distract you. So, what do these 5 minutes for your mind look like? There are several ways you can use them, and the beauty is you don't need anything fancy. The simplest method is meditation. Not the kind where you need hours of silence or a mountain retreat, but just 5 minutes of sitting still, closing your eyes and focusing on your breath. Studies show that even a few minutes of mindful breathing lowers stress levels, improves clarity, and increases emotional control. Think about it: 5 minutes of breathing can give you more peace than an extra 30 minutes of scrolling through your phone ever could. Another powerful practice for these 5 minutes is gratitude. Take out a journal or even just a piece of paper and write down 3 things you're thankful for. They don't have to be big. It could be the roof over your head, the cup of coffee waiting in the kitchen, or the fact that you woke up to see another day. Gratitude shifts your brain from focusing on what's missing to appreciating what's already there. And when you start your day from a place of gratitude, it's like putting on a lens that helps you see opportunities instead of obstacles. Or maybe journaling is your thing. Spend 5 minutes dumping your thoughts on paper. Write down what's on your mind, what you want to focus on today, or even the goals you're working toward. This isn't about being perfect or writing a masterpiece. It's about clearing mental clutter so you can step into the day with clarity. Think of it like taking out the trash. You wouldn't leave yesterday's garbage sitting in your kitchen, right? So why carry yesterday's worries, doubts, and frustrations into a brand new day? Some people even use affirmations in these 5 minutes, speaking powerful truths over yourself. Instead of letting your inner critic control the narrative, you take charge of your story. Say things like, I am focused, I am capable. Today I will show up at my best. At first it might feel strange, but over time, your brain starts to believe the story you repeatedly tell it. And that story will shape your actions, your decisions, and ultimately your life. Now let's zoom out for a second. Why does this matter so much? Because your mind is the foundation of everything else. If your mindset is weak, no amount of hard work will carry you through the day. But if your mind is strong, even the hardest challenges can't break you. Think about athletes before a big game. Do they just jump in without preparing their mind? No, they visualize, they focus, they build mental strength before they even step onto the field. In the same way, these 5 minutes for your mind are your warm-up for the game of life. And here's the best part: 5 minutes is all it takes. You don't need an hour-long meditation. You don't need to write 10 pages of journaling. You don't need to attend a retreat in the mountains. All you need is 5 minutes of intentional practice. 5 minutes where you shut out the noise, focus inward, and prepare your mind for the day ahead. Because what you do in those first few minutes after waking up determines whether you're re-leading your day or whether your day is leading you. After you've given 5 minutes to your mind, it's time to shift into the next step. 5 minutes for your body. Now, let's be honest. Most people wake up feeling groggy, stiff, and sluggish. They roll out of bed, drag themselves to the kitchen, pour a cup of coffee, and hope the caffeine will somehow switch their body on. But what if I told you that your body doesn't need coffee first thing in the morning, it needs movement? Even just 5 minutes of moving your body can completely change how you feel for the rest of the day. Think about it this way. Your body is like an engine. When you wake up, it's cold. It hasn't been moving all night. If you just sit down at a desk or rush into your day without warming up, you're asking that cold engine to run at full speed. And that's why so many people feel drained by mid-morning, yawning through meetings or struggling to focus. But if you spend just 5 minutes moving your body, stretching, exercising, waking up your muscles, you're heating up the engine, you're telling your body, wake up, it's time to perform. Now, when I say 5 minutes for your body, I'm not talking about a full workout. I'm not saying you need to hit the gym for an hour or run 5 kilometers before breakfast. This is about activating, not exhausting. 5 minutes of intentional movement is enough to get your blood flowing, your energy rising, and your brain firing on all cylinders, because movement doesn't just wake up your body, it wakes up your mind too. When you move, your body releases endorphins, those natural chemicals that make you feel good. Your circulation improves, oxygen flows to your brain, and suddenly you're sharper, more focused, more alive. So what can you do in these 5 minutes? It could be as simple as stretching the stiffness out of your neck and shoulders, loosening up your back, touching your toes, rolling your wrists and ankles. If you want more energy, try quick exercises like jumping jacks, squats, or push-ups. If you prefer calmness, flow through a few yoga poses. The specific movement doesn't matter as much as the act of moving itself. The goal is to tell your body, we are not in sleep mode anymore. We are ready. Picture this. One person wakes up, skips any kind of movement, and goes straight to their phone or straight to their desk. They spend the first part of their day hunched over, shoulders tight, energy low. By the time the clock hits 10, they're already fighting fatigue. Now picture someone else who takes just 5 minutes after waking up to move. They stretch, they breathe deeply, maybe they knock out a few push-ups. Their heart rate rises, their muscles activate, their body is awake. By the time they sit down to start their day, they're alert, focused, and full of energy. Both people had the same amount of time, but one chose to wake up their body, and that choice changed the trajectory of their day. And here's something powerful to remember. Your body and your mind are not separate, they are deeply connected. When you move your body, your mind responds. That's why some of your best ideas don't come when you're staring at a screen, but when you're walking, stretching, or pacing around. Movement unlocks clarity. It shakes off mental fog. It creates momentum. And when you combine 5 minutes for your mind with 5 minutes for your body, you're building a morning that fuels both sides of your performance, mental and physical. The excuse most people give is time. I don't have time to exercise in the morning. But here's the thing, you don't need 30 minutes, you don't need an hour, you need 5 minutes, that's it. And everyone has 5 minutes. It's the difference between hitting snooze twice or choosing to move. And those 5 minutes don't just give you energy for the morning, they compound throughout the day. They improve your posture, your focus, your stamina. You'll notice that when you give 5 minutes to your body at the start, you don't drag yourself through the day, you carry yourself with energy. Even science backs this up. Studies show that short bursts of movement improve circulation, reduce stress hormones, and even sharpen memory and learning ability. So, in just 5 minutes, you're not only energizing your body, you're literally rewiring your brain to perform better. This is why elite performers, athletes, and high achievers never skip movement in the morning. Because they know energy isn't something you wait for, it's something you create. And here's the best part, you don't need any equipment, you don't need a gym, you don't even need a big space. You can do it in your bedroom, your living room, or even next to your bed. 5 minutes of moving your body is enough to remind yourself that you are alive, that you are strong, and that today is not going to control you, you're going to control it. Now we've talked about 5 minutes for your mind and 5 minutes for your body, but the final step of the 5-5-9 morning routine is where everything comes together. It's about doing something that most people overlook. It's about giving yourself a win before the clock even strikes 9. Because when you start your day with a victory, no matter how small, you create a momentum that carries into everything else you do. This is the principle of conquering before 9 a.m. Think about how most mornings go for people. They wake up, rush through their routine, grab a quick bite or maybe skip breakfast altogether, then jump straight into work or school. The first few hours are spent reacting to emails, messages, demands, and responsibilities. And by the time they stop to breathe, it feels like the day is already running away from them. But when you decide to conquer before 9 a.m., you flip the script. Instead of reacting, you're creating. Instead of being pulled into the noise, you're starting with clarity. So what does it mean to conquer before 9 a.m.? It means choosing one meaningful task and finishing it before most people even start their day. It doesn't have to be something massive. It doesn't mean writing a whole book, launching a business, or solving your biggest problem. It means identifying one thing that matters to you, one action that moves your life forward, and doing it while the rest of the world is still waking up. Maybe it's writing a page in your journal or planning your goals for the day. Maybe it's drafting that email you've been putting off or working for 20 minutes on a passion project. Maybe it's studying something new, reading a few pages of a book, or preparing your tasks so that the rest of your day runs smoothly. Whatever it is, the key is that it's not busy work. It's not scrolling through your phone. It's not something that drains you. It's something that matters, something that builds you, something that makes you feel like you've already won. Here's why this step is so powerful. Success is built on momentum. The hardest part of any day isn't finishing, it's starting. Once you've started and achieved something small, your brain shifts into a state of accomplishment. You're no longer behind, you're ahead. And that feeling of being ahead carries into everything else. You walk differently, you think differently, you handle challenges differently. Because deep down, you know you've already created progress. Now imagine this. 2 people start their morning. One of them checks their phone, scrolls through social media, and by 9 o'clock, they've consumed more content than they've created. The other person wakes up, clears their mind, moves their body, and spends just a few focused minutes writing, planning, or completing a small but important task. By the time 9 o'clock arrives, one person feels scattered and behind, the other feels strong and accomplished. Both of them had the same amount of time. The difference was what they chose to conquer before 9. And this is where the 5-5-9 routine becomes more than just a ritual, it becomes a mindset. It's not about how much time you have, it's about what you do with it. If you can give yourself a victory before 9 o'clock in the morning, you're not only building momentum, you're building self-respect. Because nothing boosts confidence more than keeping the promises you make to yourself. When you say you're going to do something and you actually do it, even in a small way, your brain learns to trust you. And that trust becomes the foundation for bigger and bigger victories. Conquering before 9 a.m. also sends a message to the world. It says, I'm not waiting for permission. I'm not waiting for perfect conditions. I take action. I lead my day. And when you live like that consistently, you stop being the kind of person who drifts aimlessly and start becoming the kind of person who creates results, because results aren't created in giant leaps. They're created in small, consistent wins that stack on top of each other until they transform your life. The truth is, everyone has the same 24 hours. But not everyone uses the quiet power of the early morning. Before the world gets noisy, before distractions pile up, before your energy is drained, you have a window of time that belongs only to you. And if you use that time to conquer something meaningful, you step into the rest of the day with control instead of chaos. Some of the most successful people in the world credit their mornings for their achievements. Writers finish pages before breakfast. Entrepreneurs make strategic decisions before their teams even arrive. Athletes put in training before the sun comes up. They all understand one principle, that the early hours are sacred, and what you do with them sets the tone for everything else. When you commit to conquering before 9, you're not just building a routine, you're building a lifestyle. A lifestyle where you are the driver, not the passenger. Where you choose to create instead of consume. Where you step into every day already a step ahead. And all it takes is identifying that one task, that one meaningful action, and doing it before the world even has a chance to distract you. So here's what the 559 morning routine really gives you. 5 minutes for your mind to set your intentions and clear the noise. 5 minutes for your body to unlock energy and activate your focus. And one meaningful win before 9 o'clock that creates unstoppable momentum for the rest of the day. 10 minutes in total, but the impact lasts for hours. Because it's not about time, it's about direction. It's not about doing more, it's about doing what matters first. Most people wait for the day to decide how they feel, how they think, and what they achieve. But with this routine, you flip that. You take charge before the world has a chance to pull you into distractions. You set the tone, you choose clarity, energy, and progress. And once you start stacking mornings like this, you begin to see the compound effect. One powerful morning turns into a powerful week. A powerful week turns into a powerful month. And before you know it, you've built a lifestyle that is unshakable. The 559 routine is not about perfection. It's about consistency. It's about showing up for yourself every single morning in a way that strengthens your mind, fuels your body, and builds momentum toward your goals. And when you do that, you don't just conquer your mornings, you conquer your life.